Alright, so we'll come to the final about 10 minutes here. What I'm just going to do now is I've got my spec and I'm just going to add some highlights where the light would hit almost hot spots. So I'm just going to do the metal quickly here, and what you'll do is just basically pick just a brighter, more intense saturated color than the actual base color, and there you go. See, turn on the guides so you know where your edges are. And you just go along and you just start painting in some highlights. And what I do is I also just take like a kind of an organic looking brush, and I just erase, fade off the end lines, the start and end points, and just give it a little variation along the spec. So you can see there that what I was talking about, and then you just go along and you just hit up those hot spots. And when you bring this into game and the person's walking along, you'll just see this nice, light hitting certain areas, and it just adds a nice effect. So you just go along and do this, and it doesn't take too long. Paint it back and forth, then switch to the eraser, fade those off, give it a little variation. Then do the same with the concrete, since it's like a painted concrete. It's not a matte finish, it's a shiny finish. So I'm just doing the same thing, picking a brighter, I guess, gray. In this case, going along the edges here, going off. It's not a perfectly straight line, so that's good. So erasing here and there. Turn off the guides here in a second. Just going to paint some more in here. I'll turn off the guides here to show you, because it's kind of hard when you see the guides there. I'm just erasing some more. Just last minute little things. You can also hit up, divots, just random little squiggles. That's without the guides. And when you're done with that, you'll end up with something that looks like this. And there's our final spec. So we'll apply it. We'll save it out. We'll apply it. And then I'm just going to add a few little things in the normal coming up. But you can tell I just hit up spots here and there with the green. So we'll just collapse that, open up the normal. And what I did here was just basically do some damage to the concrete. And I'll show you the final result. There we go. Let Photoshop catch up here. You can see the little chunks that I've carved out of the cement, if you may. And I'll just show you quickly how I did that. So I just go into the diffuse, and I'll just take the cement mask that I made earlier on, to discolor these chunks, and what I do is I take it into a program called save it out as a TGA. Take it into a program called Crazy Bump. I'm sure you've all heard of it. If not, it's a great little program to make textures from Photoshop. Just pop it in there. Pull some sliders here and there. I usually take shape recognition right down to 0 and high detail right down to 0 and crank up the fine detail, and you'll get a nice crisp normal with a crisp outline. So, and then you just basically save out the normals, and then you just bring it back into Photoshop. I'm not going to show you Crazy Bump because that's not really what I'm talking about, but it's a very simple program like XNormal, actually even simpler, because it requires no 3D mesh. It's all texture creator from 2D images. He used to be free, but now he charges. So if you're lucky to have a copy, it helps a lot. So there you go. There's the final result. And I just did the old same overlay trick that I did in the very first tutorial when I baked. And also added a little noisy overlay. You can barely see it. It's just a little faint thing. Usually leave that up to the spec. You don't want your normal too noisy, but just put a bit in there. So there we go. That is the final normal. We're done all of our maps. We're finished, and now we're just going to apply it to our. So we've applied it here in the engine I use at work. You can tell I use an emissive on the lights and the TV screen. Apologize for the navigation. It doesn't pick up the smooth rotation from our engine. But yeah, you can tell it turned out pretty good. I really like it. You can see the chunks out of the cement there. The normal really picked it up. The spec that I added, you can see going along the edges of everything, especially the metal. You'll see it here in a second. Really nice, right by there's the chunk, right by the metal part there. It looks really nice. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this this tutorial from low poly all the way to high poly to the bake to the unwrap and then the texture in the final render. So once again, I hope you enjoyed everything, learned lots, and my name is Ron Davey. I'm lead artist at Digital Extremes in London, Ontario, Canada. And this was a tutorial for cgtoot.com. Enjoy.